JH says Umar exhibits a lot of cult leader traits, demanding very drastic life changes for his listeners. Absolutely. In fact, he's programmed his cult followers, and they always recite the same things over and over again. I put together a list years ago of, let me see if I can pull this up, of the top 10 excuses made by Umar Johnson followers. Let me pull this up. And we did this years ago. Quick Rashad, you guys remember this. Let's see if it still holds true to this day. And this is what I mean by the cult aspect. He's the cult leader, and they don't question him. He tells them things, and they repeat it verbatim with no critical thought. Top 10 excuses made by Umar Johnson followers. Number one, you didn't donate. Well, that's what Umar says. Well, you didn't donate, so you don't matter. You're not a donor. You don't matter. What you hear criticism doesn't matter because you didn't donate. Isn't that what Umar Johnson followers say? Some, even I would propose that even someone that ain't donated, they say the same shit. Number two, what are you doing for the black community? How many of y'all have heard that one? If you heard the first one, hit the one. If you heard the second one, hit the two. What are you doing for the black community? They repeat the same thing. Well, that's what Umar says. Yeah, they're criticizing me, but what are they doing for the black community? See, I'm building a school. I'm building an institute. You ain't building nothing. These abandoned buildings might be taken away from Umar within the next couple of months. What you talking about? What are you doing for the black community? Hit the two if you heard that one. Number three, where's your school? Hit the three if you heard that one. I never said I was going to open up a school. So what you talking about? See? And Umar, well, you know, all these people, they want to criticize me about the school, but they don't even have a school. See, so he repeats these things over and over again over the years, and his cult followers, they repeat it verbatim. No critical thinking, no critical thought, no intellectual process. They say exactly what Umar says. That's the cult dynamic here. Number four, name calling. Hater. That's the main one. The C word that he uses. Okay. Pastor B. He called me Pastor B. That's another one. You know. Have you guys heard the name calling from Umar Johnson followers? When you criticize Umar, or you ask a basic question like, you know, when's the school opening? Or how much money have you raised? Well, they get the name calling. Well, Umar does the same thing. See, their cult follower falls right in line. They repeat the same stuff that he say every single time. Number five, diversionary excuses. That's deflecting. As an example, his followers will say, well, what about the black church? Okay, we're not talking about the black church. We're talking about Umar. See the diversion? It's a deflection. Umar does the same thing. He deflects a lot. You ask him a question about the school, he starts talking about something totally different. And he starts talking about, well, you know, the black church did this. And what about the pastors in the room? We're talking about you, homeboy. How many of you heard the diversionary excuses of the deflection? That's number five. Hit the five. There's a lot of those that you know, come up with all kinds of stuff with that one. Number six, you're trying to tear another black man down. That's probably the main one that I hear. I still hear that to this day. Well, you trying to tear another black man down. How many of y'all have heard that? Hit the six. But if you listen to Umar's rhetoric, most of what he says is disparaging towards black people in general and black men in particular. We got evidence of that today, right? So do we say that Umar's trying to tear a black man down when he's talking all this shit about black men? Talking about how they ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing, even though he ain't doing none of that either? Make sense? So that's probably the main one. You're trying to tear another black man down. I don't want to hear that. Umar's not a man in the first place. Secondly, he's a threat to the black community. He's a con man. He's a threat to these black women out here too, exploiting them for money and for them cookies. So is that tearing another black man down? No. But see, Umar has said that so many times in the past that his followers, they repeat it verbatim. That's mind control. Well, that's the cult dynamic. Number seven, black people spend money on alcohol, weed, expensive shoes, and y'all be spending money on this, you know. So what you talk about the donations? That's number seven, but that's tied to that. That's also a deflection. Okay. But that's number seven. How many of y'all heard that? Hit the seven. Umar says that all the time. His followers say the same thing, not because they thought of it, but because their cult leader said it. Number eight, he doesn't have enough money to build a school. Well, how much money has he raised, Umar Johnson, cult follower? I don't know. But then how can you say that he doesn't have enough money to raise a school? He hasn't updated people, you donors, since 2020. He said he had raised $850,000. And in 2025, he's saying that 5 years later, over 5 years later, he's telling people that he hasn't raised $1 million, even though back in 2020, he said he raised 850,000. Why is Umar saying in 2025 that he hasn't raised $1 million? Well, I've already proven without a shadow of a doubt that Umar, bare minimum, he's raised $1,677,860. You Umar Johnson followers didn't even know that because you listened to this clown without any critical thought. That's a cult. So if you say he doesn't have enough money to build a school, that's why the school's not open, and I ask you, well, how much money has he raised, and you say I don't know, then how can you say that he doesn't have enough money to build a school? He's had more than enough money to do something. Interesting enough, you don't hear this excuse as much these days because people they're hip to the game. They done seen the train wreck on the side of the road and they're tired of the traffic. Number 9, white supremacy is trying to stop me. That's where he's talking about the archdiocese and the white lawyer that helped him get the school allegedly and all this other stuff. We've heard that time and time again with Umar trying to blame white people. Hit the 9. That's the 9th one. His followers say the same thing. Well, you know, in this oppressive society where white supremacy is hard for black men, I don't want to hear all that shit. This guy done raised over $1.6 million. Cut it out. And number 10, it takes time to build a school. Well, how much time does it take? He conceptualized this in 2004. It's been over 20 years. How long does it take? He's had enough money to get something started. But you see, he don't handle business, which is the theme for today. Instead of Umar getting online to explain why it is that he owes right now, and he's in jeopardy of these abandoned buildings being taken from him by the city of Wilmington, the state of Delaware, that he owes $38,388.22. Instead of handling that and coming to the forefront to explain that situation to his followers, he out there giving bootleg, antiquated speeches to an audience that is not even receptive to him, and he's hanging out and living his best life. What kind of man? What kind of scam? Okay, so the point is, we put that list together years ago, but it still applies to this day. Okay, that's the cult dynamic.